Hello everyone.
Hey everybody, how's everyone? I know, it's pretty cool. I love video. Because see, to me, the power of the camera, the lens,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, you know, that's the universe. And if
No,
you
there's a lot of power in it.
I know it is. And also the way I see the lens is kind of like the mirror. Which is an interesting experiment you can do. If you look at yourself with the camera, you record, then you put a mirror next to it. It seems different.
70% of communication is non-verbal.
Yes.
So
yes.
That's why.
So let's be silent.
Video is so powerful.
Right. Yeah. And see, the thing is also when we talk about power, which is another important concept, because sometimes in relationships we can get involved in power struggles.
Always.
What's up with that?
Always.
I know. That's what, on one thing also we're talking about is about a new way of how we can relate to each other more effectively. You know, without of all the bullshit and all the arguments and back and forth, you know, because there's no learning. When we argue with somebody, we stop learning. We just like,
But relating effectively.
right.
Are we on now?
Yes, we're on.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we're on.
But I personally think the idea of relating with someone else
Right.
cannot exist, cannot clearly be effective without relating to yourself, without the ability to relate to yourself.
Yes.
So you can't really know or understand and love someone else if you don't know who you are and if your own intricacies are not brought to your own attention.
Right. But I think also in relationships, if we really relate to somebody, we can learn about ourselves. When we do, it goes both ways. We can learn about the other person, and through this we can learn about ourselves.
No, but then it will depend what we are trained to find out about ourselves.
But you said what we're trained.
No, what are we trying to find out about ourselves? Because sometimes, you know, if you just focus on one aspect of the other person, you can't actually find anything about yourself because you're not looking at the person from a full scope perspective.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's really the thing also, you know, because many times when we look at a person, we only see one side. That's all we know. We go by our impressions of them. And I always wondered, you know, because we all have so much, there's so much more to it.
There's so much.
I know. And that's one thing I'm really encouraging, you know, is to really make the effort to look at people from in a different perspective, not just because see our preconceived notions or going by previous experiences or by the impression we have of somebody. That's bullshit. It's nothing. I mean, we don't want to stay that superficial, you know, because we're just trained to be kind of superficial in this world. But this is again, you know.
But don't you think it's also due to our exposure and the type of experiences we had? Let's say you were only exposed to this type of person, and your parents, you know, you just had access to this type of parent growing up.
Right. Yes.
Now, as you're relating to others, you know, there will be a strong influence of your childhood in your capacity and ability to relate to other people.
Right. Well, it's about what we learn. Right?
Yes.
Well, that's the key concept actually. You know, was realized to actualize. You know, that's our experiences create our own reality because that's all we know. It's all we have experienced. But see, the thing is, that's only our subjective reality. That's just myself. And in a way, we all stay within our own reality. And so the saying goes, "What's real to me is not real to you." And truth is in the eye of the beholder, which is another thing I always question. It's like, you know, if that's relative. If reality is perception, like they say in advertising, it's like, you know, of course, no wonder we're so divided. You know, when we're arguing with one another. This is actually, hold on, I don't know what to. This is a broadcast here that yesterday I'm going to put that on. This is on US stream, which is really cool. And again, this is live, just also illustrating the point. It is about life, something that we never really. Where am I here? Yeah, there we go. There we are. See?
Whoa, that's cool.
And this is we're broadcasting right now. I mean, there's probably nobody watching, but it's fine. But again, right now we're also recording. Are we recording? Yes, we are recording.
Yes.
I know. And but so yeah, it's. I like the idea of now, which is to see these broadcasts provide you with that ability, you know, because it's happening now. And now is also when you are in the now, it's like it's new. Everything is new because new ideas come up. Instead of like, because usually we just go through the motions of life day by day. We have work, we have things to do, we're busy, right? We make plans for tomorrow, and we think about this and that and the other, But the idea is when we are fully present, which is being more like a child in the world, because children are present, and I think that's part of the magic.
Then is it possible really to be like a child?
Well,
after 45 years.
No, not fully. No. Of course, not exactly like, but more childlike. I think we can move beyond more of the conditioned self and the programmed self, the mechanical self, where every day is the same old, and we're looking for change, But we can learn to be more open, I think, more aware of what's happening.
How do you do that? How do you get to that level of?
Well, I think one thing is stillness, to be more still, to be more aware, to like hear yourself think, in order to hear yourself think. To know what you think about.
Be careful when you throw a concept of stillness.
Right.
It's very laudable. It's great. But look at we're living in an area of information technology where everything access to information is so instantaneous.
Yes.
And processing that same information has to be that instantaneous. We talk about multitasking has a great attribute in getting hired. So
but that's
and then you have to be at the same time you have to be still. You have to be able to be present to each of the information you're getting. Each moment.
But you have to break it down somehow.
Is it not a lost battle?
I think you have to. Well, first of all, it shouldn't be a battle. Secondly, I think it's really it starts there to understand what is really important here. I mean, you said multitasking and different informations and just in order to get certain things done. This is really how we have been programmed. But this is not who we are really. This is the way I see that, it's going against our nature, and that's really the whole point here of this tree. Which is like, it's about evolution and everything evolves. But the point is we have stopped evolving because we had to become part of the system. And the system, we don't need to be creative, we don't need to be present. The system doesn't give a shit. I mean, excuse my French, right? But that's just our reality. The system cares about do what you're told. Be like everybody else. Don't ask too many questions. Don't be a troublemaker. Don't think outside the box. Just listen, pay attention, take notes, and then do what you're told.
Have we ever, in the history of mankind, have we ever been in an era where the system did not exist?
No, there was always a system.
There was always a system. There was always a sense of community.
Yes.
There were always requirements to be part of that community. Maybe it's just now an extended community that we are living.
Well, I think what we are now with a shift in consciousness taking place is we realize that all of these unique micro communities, like different an organization is a community, or a family is a community, or a city, or a state, or a country, a culture, right? There are all these different communities. That ultimately, because in these communities we are separate from each other, because there's one community and there's a community in Asia which is very different from the community.
That has always been the truth.
Right, but see, that's why the thing is, it always has been like this, but always this has been the because of that there's struggle in the world, because different communities fight each other. Like back in the days, even how the evolution of cultures, how they started, there were always one culture who fought another culture, but that's the illusion, because ultimately the community, it's a community of men. We all one. We all want. It's not about how we grew up to kind of believe in our state, believe in our government.
So, Christophe, the community that you are advocating has never existed.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
We've never seen
because we never know.
And this is a new community
very new.
You're going for. Do you think it's attainable?
I think it will. I think I think we have reached a point in our evolutionary process where we will attain this community one way or another, because we have disrupted.
Something is telling me we're running away from it a little bit more than going towards it.
Oh, we're good at running away from it. But I think people are waking up with that, because there are a lot of spiritual people out there who realize that, and there are a lot of people, especially like in the Middle Ages, they just do their work, and they work for corporations, and they do it for years and years and years, and eventually they reach a point where I'm like, what am I doing here? Who am I doing this for? I'm not happy. I'm just making money, to pay bills, to have the cars, put the kids to college and all this stuff, but I don't feel fulfilled, and that's still playing here. And that's really the meaning, the quest for purpose. And I think that's the question we all ask ourselves at one point or another, is, well, what is the meaning of life?
And that's why religion kicks in and becomes so powerful.
Of course.
Because religion attempts at least to provide definite answers to however dogmatic these answers are. At least religion is trying to provide.
Well, I think religion, as Marx also says, is opium for the masses, and that religion gives people the illusion of, most religions say that, you're a sinner, you need to submit yourself to this power outside of us. God is outside, you need to worship this power, and then you will, become saved.
Which is a creation and not a community.
Of course, but it's
safe.
Yes. Well, it's used, the way I see that, it's used to pacify the masses. It's very intelligently used by those in power to give people a sense of belonging and protection. As long as you believe in this power, you protect it, we take care of you, and so it is also with the government. As long as you submit yourself to the government, to authority outside of it, we protect you. But if you go against the grain, you're in trouble.
Religion is a spiritual mafia.
Yeah. Well, I don't know even about spiritual, because religion takes it out of context. Because religion gets people to be more confused than they already are. Because religion, basically, to me, there's a great difference between religion and spirituality, and that is, religion talks about God is outside somewhere, and you need to submit yourself to this power. While spirituality is all about the idea God is within. And it's not God needs no religion. What is this? You look at a flower, right? It's God right there. Because how does this stuff grow? Nobody knows. And we're just trying to figure it out with science, and we're trying to measure all this stuff, but we don't even know what we don't know. Because that's really the magic of it all. That magic happens.
Now, going back to the concept of community and our need to go back to the basics.
Right.
As individual, let's say, just take two people. Could you put two people together and ask them to be part of the community that you're advocating?
Right.
Is it possible?
Of course.
When you take into consideration each person's individuality, needs, expectations, drive,
history, experience.
Voilà. So,
but this is
how do you strip that away and then just take this beautiful concept and instill it in everyone and make sure that the community...
Well, I think we talked about this earlier briefly. It's about the idea of being present. When you're present, it's not important about what I believe and what I've experienced and what I know, what I want, which is all about the future. I want you to be... It's just right here, right now, and I learn, and I open myself up to that. See, I think when you bring people together in that space, you can overcome all barriers.
I see what you mean.
That's really the idea of
powerful.
As one. You just are together as one.